Good morning, everyone. We're getting an echo. No worry. Good morning. It's 10 a.m. We'll call this meeting to order. I do certify we have a quorum. All 5 members are present. Opening prayer this morning will be by Pastor Rosalind Eggster of Callisburg Methodist Church, followed by our pledges led by Commissioner Snuggs. Rosalind?
Our most gracious Heavenly Father, I pray for your presence and your guidance during this meeting. Satisfy the needs that need to be met, strengthen and guide our commissioners as they are called to make decisions for our county. I pray that you make this meeting fruitful. Please guide them as they make decisions, which will impact the meeting. Let it be effective. I ask that you grant them wisdom as they make tough decisions in the meeting. Help them to carefully consider the relevant information that has been gathered. May those sharing information give pertinent points so that everyone clearly understands. Help them to wisely evaluate the options. Help them to be unified in making the best possible decisions and to effectively carry them out. Guide them toward the best way to take action to accomplish their goals. Help them to tackle all the topics that need to be discussed. Come up with excellent solutions and make this meeting inspired and on time. In the name of Jesus Christ we pray.
Amen. Thank you, Pastor.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Public comments. Anyone signed up for public comments? Lily Palmer, Munster Chamber of Commerce. Good morning, Lily. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Doing well.
Good. Can I put this here?
Sure.
Great. I just got these in the mail while I was on vacation, so I decided to bring you up one. I can do that.
Sure.
Thank you.
So this is the first time I do this, so I'm a little excited and nervous all at the same time. I had a friend call me last year and tell me that hotel tax for Cooke County was going to be open to everyone, and I was really excited. And I've been doing my position now for 6 years, and so during those 6 years, I've said, how do we put Germanfest and Oktoberfest on? And they said, it just happens. I laughed when they said that. We do so much putting this on with advertising and so forth. And so I was really excited to be able to present this information to y'all last month. I didn't get all the information that I needed. When I went to the website and downloaded the information, the packet wasn't complete, so I did my best in completing what I had available. I felt as though we were really excited because we did meet with Judge Steve and Kathy, with Shelley, and so we were pretty excited to get whatever we got. So at first, they were going to give us $10,000 for each event, which is Germanfest and Oktoberfest. After I gave them a couple different scenarios, we were going to get $34,000. I was pretty excited because we have never received hotel tax funds. But then a week later, I was told that I was not going to be able to get it. And it was like, not that I was excited to have it in my hands because they were not quite in my hands yet, but I was pretty excited to, with the prospects of being able to do with that money to continue to bring other people to stay into our town. Now, the reason why I gave you our brochure and our business card is because the brochure shows that we do 3-day events for both
Germanfest and Oktoberfest, and this one is for Oktoberfest. With Oktoberfest, we have 3 different events, which brings people coming all the time. Meaning we have a worst eating contest on Friday night, so if people are excited about that. Saturday, we have all sorts of things like tapping of the keg, as well as a Steinhoising competition, and on Sunday, we have a wiener dog race. So I have 3 different events that will bring people to the town on a 3-day basis. Most of my vendors are from out of town. They stay at all of our local hotels. I would say we spend close to $10,000 or over at Germanfest just on the entertainment hotel. So I was, again, excited to be able to get money. My question for you all is, 1, what do I need to do to be eligible to receive hotel tax? I understand that maybe because we're a chamber, our chamber, I think, is unlike any other chamber that I've been around. We're a person that wears many hats. So I understand that maybe through things that maybe our chambers in general do things, but I think Munster's chamber is a little bit unique. Also, if we're not able to get it at this time, if I could get a written letter or a written thing, because I do meet with my board on Wednesday, and I would like to let them know that I tried my best to my knowledge and my understanding of what hotel tax is, bringing people heads in beds. And I thought we would get something, and I'd like to let them know by Wednesday what would be a reason.
Unfortunately, it's public comments.
Yeah. We'll get back to you, Lily.
Okay.
You came to budget hearing, if you remember, and we discussed at budget hearing. Normally, the court has not previously given money to organizations that give to other organizations, that the court felt comfortable with it had it been directly from Oktoberfest or directly from Germanfest. But being an intermediary as the chamber, we have not done that previously. Now, there could be discussions. We have another budget meeting coming up to discuss if we want to amend that policy or in the future change it. But we still have additional budget hearings, so nothing is conclusive yet.
I'd like to add something.
Sure.
Okay, the fair,
Yes.
they do basically the same thing we do
Mm-hmm.
on a smaller scale.
Mm-hmm.
They can't handle all the stuff. They call Friends of Munster to come take care of the concessions. So they give us the funds for it. Basically the same thing we do. Can't handle it all. Give you that.
So we could hire
We
people.
engaged in a discussion in
Oh, okay.
public comments, and we can't do that.
I'm sorry.
You were in public comments,
Yeah, I
so
can't-
legally we can't sit and have a
Right.
discussion.
Yeah.
Now, I understand you know that.
Yeah.
I don't want
I
you to
apologize.
think that we're being rude, that we're
No,
not.
Thank you. No, I appreciate it. And if I could just get an email, like later on today or tomorrow, just so that I could talk to my board, because sometimes I do so many things. I mean, from changing toilet paper all the way to, putting billboards up, that I sometimes forget details. So if I could share with my board, the comment that y'all may have said last 2 weeks ago, why the chamber couldn't, and any other future times that we could come and present this, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Item number 6, consent agenda. The consent agenda includes non-controversial and routine items that the court may act on with one single vote. The judge or commissioners may pull any item from the consent agenda in order that the court discuss and act upon it individually as part of the regular agenda. Anybody have anything they'd like to pull and discuss?
Judge, the supplemental agenda has an
Yes, item
additional.
10 has been added. Did everybody get a copy of that?
Supplemental.
Yeah.
You got it in an email. There's just one item on it, Judge, what is it? Or,
Item N, I'll read it. The added to the supplement was deliberate and consider possible approval of expenditure of $4,000 from the district attorney's forfeiture fund to Phil Chalmers for the public training program on school safety.
That was intended to be on consent.
Yes, sir.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Have a motion from Commissioner Snuggs to approve the consent agenda.
Is that including the supplement?
Yeah, including the supplement.
Including the supplement in.
Second.
Have a second from Commissioner Hollowell to approve the consent agenda, including amendment in. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 7, open public hearings, rezoning request by Roderick family for approximately 11.93 acres in Marshall University Survey 65, Triangle Road in Valley View, from agricultural to residential. It is 10:11. We open up public hearings. Anyone here to speak to this?
No one signed up?
No one signed up. It is still 10:11. We'll close public hearings.
Is the family here?
Anyone here from the Roderick family? Item 9, deliberate and consider possible action on the rezoning request by the Roderick family for approximately 11.93 acres in the Marshall University Survey at 65 Triangle Road in Valley View, from agricultural to residential.
He's doing one.
This is the one that was on the wrong road name last court. So they just split it in half so they can sell half, keep half.
Okay. And it's,
This was 4-0, went through P and Z.
and I was gonna say, went to P and Z 4, okay. Okay, well, I make a motion, we approve this rezoning on Triangle Road.
I have a motion to approve the rezoning request by the Roderick family for approximately 11.93 acres from agricultural to residential by Commissioner Snuggs.
I'll second it and ask for some discussion.
I have a second from Commissioner Hollowell. Further discussion?
Jason, this is the one where they want the variance on the lot width,
No.
This isn't the one, the very
the
edge.
one above it. Okay, never mind, I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, this is pretty large, so they don't have any width issues on this one.
I'm good, Judge.
All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
It's the next one on the variance.
I think so, yeah. Yeah, the dean.
Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 10, open public hearing, rezoning request from agricultural to residential and a special exception on minimum lot width by Donald and Stacy Dean for 12 acres on Alexander Road in Pilot Point. It is 10:14. We'll open public hearing. Anybody here to speak to this? No one? Are you familiar with the ins and outs of this, Commissioner Snuggs?
Briefly.
Any-
Are y'all with this one, the back row?
This is ours, yes.
Okay, can you come up and tell me what's going on? Is this one going to P and Z too, Kathy?
Yes, and it was approved for 4-0 also, both variance and the.
Good morning. Just state your name, please.
Donald Dean. What we had is approximately 50 acres. We've dealt with Snug over, we used to live at the end of that road, just, maintenance wise and stuff like that over the years. And I've sold off 12-acre lots, basically, and I'm keeping 12 acres on the end. And I put it up for sale, but everybody wanted to buy it, wanted to divide it. Everybody was going to divide it, so I just figured one of my neighbors wants to buy the tree line, which is going to put it, the 4.75 acre lot next to Chandler's, basically. And then that was going to leave another section where is my, we divided up like that because we're thinking about building my mother-in-law a house with a 2.8 something acres and then selling the center with the house, basically. So we're thinking about adding 2 houses, basically. And of course, I haven't sold the property to the other people yet because nothing's, verified. And if something, backed out on their end, I'm not buying the 4.7. I was thinking maybe split it in the middle or something. But, until all this is handled, I don't really know because I can't sell that 4.75 or anything until it's kind of figured out. But that's kind of the deal on the place.
The P and Z signed off on it, but my concern is we start changing lot sizes and we open up a can of worms. Is that what you're thinking? That way you-
If it affects our subdivision guidelines, I don't think that P and Z
Yeah.
outweighs us on that.
Right, for sure. Because they're just looking at land use compatibility and all that.
P and Z has lot frontage minimums too.
But they waived theirs,
They
but the
waived
process
theirs.
they're waiving
Yes, they
ours, are
waived
they not?
theirs. It hasn't even been filed for a subdivision yet, hasn't been filed for planning, just for rezone,
Just the rezone.
just the rezone and the variance through P and Z.
The P and Z report's not in here.
And the minutes won't be signed till tomorrow, but it was 4-0.
Okay.
But if we approve this, then we
Still
are doing
start all over
variances
with the
on
plan.
lots or opening ourselves up to request for variance on lots from now on.
Have we ever approved a variance on a lot?
Through P and Z we have.
Through the P and Z, we had. I thought so.
What's the minimum right now?
It wasn't a subdivision, it was just one lot.
It was just one lot.
Yeah.
If he's doing a 4.5 acre lot, he has to subdivide it. He's got to plat it if he's doing 4.5 acres, unless he keeps it his name.
It's hard to read.
I can't hear a thing you all say. So, y'all are muttering down there, but,
Well, we're trying to
Anyway.
clarify it in our own mind a little bit, but,
uh-oh.
We're doing the zoning change, but the lots are already here.
It's not really a subdivision, we're just, it's Alexander Road, just gonna put 2 culverts in, for 2 different houses.
are all the lots accessible from the road?
Yes.
You're not having to do a road into them?
No.
But when you split it anything less than 10 acres, more than one time, he has to plat it.
Not to plat it after.
So it is a subdivision at that point,
Okay,
By definition.
yeah.
which means it's got to follow our subdivision guidelines and then minimum lot size.
What is,
Well.
there's so many rules. Do you know off the top of your head what the normal lot width is?
It's 250, I believe.
Okay.
I don't have my, I believe
We're gonna
it's
be,
250.
Define it by width.
yeah,
It's in P and Z it is.
the P and Z does, yeah.
We define it by width or we define it by acres.
Well, it defines by width and acres and width.
Yeah. Versus you.
So be,
The 4.5 acres gets it, but if the width's too narrow, then it's a problem, right?
It's just a width problem, right?
Yeah, the narrowest one is 169 feet wide.
What's the minimum?
I think in P and Z it's.
and this is on the
250.
end of Alexander Road, right up against the lake, against the
Think
core
it P&Z
property, right?
Well, it's not,
250.
yeah, it's all core
215,
on the back
250.
side of it.
250.
It's right there before the gravel starts.
It is right where the gravel starts, so it's on the paved part that didn't county paved?
Yeah,
Okay, it's not as far down, not as far down the road as I thought.
yeah, it's,
In my brain, I was picturing it down there like where your entrance is.
yeah, my
almost to
old
the
place,
cul-de-sac.
15 acres went to my old place, so it's backed up basically 15 acres from when my property starts now, from where it was. And the thing is, we lived out there for 10 years, and I'm not trying, there was a bunch of barn doors going up out there, and that's kind of, I didn't want a bunch, not nothing against it, but we're just trying to, I'm planning on living out there. I don't plan on, jumping the place up and leaving or nothing. My house is on the Denton County side, we had 50-something acres that we bought, and then we just kept the end. Some of it was Denton, some of it was Cooke.
So yours is in Denton County?
My new place is.
Okay, your old place was
Yeah,
Almost to
my
the
old place is
cul-de-sac.
on the end of the road.
Okay.
And then I just moved basically a quarter, half mile,
To the south?
yeah,
Okay.
same side of the road.
I don't know. I mean, y'all got any thoughts on it? I mean, just the zoning change, I don't have a problem with the zoning change. We're gonna have to look at the lot. I mean, the lot sizes would be in a different hearing, wouldn't they? That's how that works.
We decided
Well,
about
it's
that.
all-
with
It's all
Rolled up
tied,
in
it's
one,
all
this
rolled up
one.
into one,
P
yeah.
and Z did the same.
Yep.
You know, my deal is, we have people coming to us every day chopping up land. Got 25 subdivisions just in precinct 2 right now.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, we narrow one, where's our ground to stand not to narrow the next one? That's my concern with it, you know. And that's my holdup.
I don't know what we've done previously, but I agree that, why did the P and Z approve it unanimously? Was there a reasoning behind that?
They just, did they look at it as lot size or just the zoning?
Or just,
Not the lot size, the lot size is fine. It's just the width.
For the width, okay. Yeah, because the acreage is
Yeah.
fine.
Oh, yeah, the acreage is fine. It's just the width. They didn't see a problem with
It wouldn't impact them to the magnitude it would impact us countywide.
Well, it's two different, you're comparing apples to oranges, the P and Z, and the reason we granted that other variance, if I remember correctly, and I do think I
it.
remember
It was a
correctly.
family thing or
Yeah,
something. So they didn't
and
get back.
we discussed not doing that one, and we didn't want to go against the P and Z. Now, whether you want to go against the P and Z or not, I don't know. It's in precinct 2, it's not, but it does affect the county.
County minimum width is less than P and Z minimum width.
say again?
I can,
County minimum width is less than the P and Z.
That is a good point.
How much?
So this wouldn't violate
50 to
county?
100.
It would.
Does this still violate county?
I think it's 150.
of the counties,
I think so.
is the minimum, and they're
Yeah.
169?
Yeah.
See,
So
you're
it's
kind
just P
of,
and
so if
Z.
the P and Z said it's fine with them,
They're-
I know what you're saying, but it meets the county specs, so,
Yeah.
Well, and I was thinking in the P and Z, you
But
know,
it doesn't meet the county spec, right?
No,
It's,
it does.
oh,
150
It meets the-
for county.
county subdivision.
But we're not there yet, so we're just on the P and Z part right now.
Okay.
okay.
That makes
and the
better
P and Z
sense.
approved it.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with it.
I mean, when you look at it that way, it changes it.
Yeah, as long as we're not violating the countywide subdivision.
No, we're not. The P and Z said they're fine with it, and it meets county specs. Now, you got to decide whether you want to overrule the P and Z around the lake.
Oh, but in this case, I'm agreeing with it. We'd be agreeing with it, wouldn't we?
Would be, I know, I said if you don't want to let him do that, you'd be going against the P and Z.
We're still in the hearing, aren't we?
We are.
We did have a protest, and they brought up that with planning and zoning, and they looked at it before they made the decision, you know, on the lot size and the width and stuff, because I did have another neighbor out there that didn't want me to do it, or two of them, and, so they know about, you know, the width and everything, and that's, you know, so that it was not,
I always make the statement that I try to stay away from the P and Z meetings to make it cleaner, so it don't look like I'm down there micromanaging, but then at the same
Yeah.
time, I feel like I want to be down there to hear the arguments on both sides, because it makes it easier when it comes here, so. I don't need anything else if you want to.
Anybody else?
We ought to somehow in the future, when we're going to have anything that's contested, I don't want to say contested, but, you know, discussed, we ought to have the P and Z report or whatever, be able to ask somebody why they gave a variance.
They're not recorded or anything, you know, there's no internet out there, there's just really
We need
no
one of
cell
these.
phone service hardly.
We
Yeah.
need one of these to come
Yeah.
down there. That would help me.
I know, but we
Yeah.
can still,
I just
Thank
take
you for being here.
a few short notes.
Yeah, thanks, Dean.
It's just people screaming.
Anything else? All right, it is 10:25, we'll close public hearing. Item 12, deliberate and consider possible approval of rezoning request from agricultural to residential and special exemption on minimum lot width by Donald and Stacy Dean for 12 acres on Alexander Road, Pilot Point.
Since the P and Z approved this and it doesn't affect the countywide subdivision width, so I'll make a motion we approve it.
Have a motion to approve the rezoning request from agricultural to residential and special exemption on minimum lot width by Donald and Stacy Dean for 12 acres in Pilot Point.
I'll second that.
A second by Commissioner Clement. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it, 5-0. Thank you, Mr. Dean. Item 13, open public hearing, reduce speed limit on County Road 306 to 35 miles per hour. Do we have anyone here to speak to the speed limit change? No one? All right, we'll open and close public hearing at 10:26. Item 15, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding reduction of speed limit for entire length of County Road 306 from Farm to Market 3108 to Farm to Market 1630 in Precinct 3 to 35 miles per hour.
I'll make the motion to reduce the speed limit, the entire length of 306, 3108, and 1630.
Have a
Precinct 3 to 35.
I have a motion to approve the reduction of the speed limit on County Road 306 from Farm to Market 3108 to Farm to Market 1630 in Precinct 3 by Commissioner Arndt.
Second.
Second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion?
And here's why. That's a new, it was a chip seal road, got ground up, it's been gravel road. Of course, that was horrendous with all the dust, and I didn't have a way to slow them down. Now that we've re-chipped it, I've got people that are asking me to slow the traffic down, and people go way too fast. There's a couple less turns in it, and I'm just afraid that somebody's gonna have an accident. It's gonna be, so that's why I'm for it too.
You know my thoughts, I brought a bunch of them before the court in the last couple of years.
Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 16, deliberate and consider possible approval of preliminary plat of Kccv Development Number 1 addition on County Road 178 in Precinct 1. Is final approval?
Preliminary.
Preliminary, I'm sorry, read my own.
Or you want to speak to it?
Oh, I'm just here to present, yeah.
Sure.
Sharon Vaughn,
Hi, Sharon.
hi. Owner of the property and here for permission for the final plat.
No, you're here for preliminary.
Preliminary,
plat.
okay,
Yeah.
preliminary.
I'd make a motion that we approve the preliminary. It's been submitted. We're on a 30-day calendar. She's got a few corrections yet, but she can deal with those between now and the time we do final.
I'll second it. I just have a question. Aren't you doing one in Valley View on 922 as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought.
I have a motion to approve the preliminary plat of KCCV Development Number 1 addition on County Road 178 in Precinct 1 by Commissioner Hollowell and a second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion?
Sharon, you do know, our engineers recommended we put some box culverts under the road. Did you see that email traffic?
Oh, yeah, that's been changed.
Okay, so the county's not signing up for that, but we are gonna increase the size of the culverts going under the
Yes.
road, which is gonna dump more water on that lot, furthest lot to the west.
Yes, the civil engineer has designed a pretty good plan and presented it to you with the culverts for the road instead of the box.
Any further discussion? Anyone else would like to speak? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 17, deliberate and consider possible approval of interlocal agreement with ERA ISD for school resource officer.
Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, Sheriff.
So you should have before you the interlocal agreement. And Shelley and I did a little work. We wanted to get away from showing specific dollar amounts actually in the contract. And some of the challenges we face, both with Kalispell and ERA, they fall on different fiscal years. And so ERA actually starts theirs July 1st. So anyway, it's hard to prove a contract with those specific amounts, so we just referred to the percentages, and that'll stay the same. The school will pay 70% of the total cost is benefits. And then if you see Appendix A, you will see, because I had to provide them with something, a general ballpark of something to go off of. So Appendix A breaks down the cost, what the school will pay, and then what the county's portion is.
Now that it's, were you talking again? Now that it's summertime, or like the other deputies, are you able to utilize them since school's not in
Absolutely.
session?
So we have Deputy Green, who was the Kalispell SRO, he's on the streets, working. And one thing I would say about the ERA is I had a vacancy in patrol, do have a vacancy in patrol. So between now and October 1st, that ERA slot would take up that vacancy. So there's no new money from today through to October 1st. Now come October 1st, that's when it would be an additional, I would refill my patrol with hire new deputy. No new money until October 1st. ERA, I attended their board meeting, I believe June 27th. Presented it to them. They are very much for it. They came to me and asked if we could provide it. So I can just tell you they're very much supportive of this, and hope you will be too.
I make a motion, we approve the interlocal agreement.
Second.
Have a motion to approve the interlocal agreement with ERA ISD for school resource officer by Commissioner Clement, a second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 18, deliberate and consider possible approval of renewal of interlocal agreement with Kalispell Independent School District for school resource officer. How did that go this year, Sheriff?
I've heard nothing but great things about the program. Haven't heard anything negative, and they were very happy, and of course they look forward to renewing it. There is a clause in there that says it automatically renews on October the 1st. So if that's something between that you, the court, may want to decide if you want to, in the future, if you want to see this every year, or if you want to let it automatically renew.
We probably ought to talk about it every year.
It needs to be because the court will be different.
Sure, and the only thing I say is that they are county employees, and I don't know that we sit down every year and look at each individual spot and decide if we're going to rehire all of our county employees every year, but whatever. I'm just saying that clause is in there. That it
This,
does
yeah, but
renew.
this is an interlocal agreement. It's a little different. It's a little different deal, and it's wise just to, it's kind of a special circumstance thing. I'm all for it. I think it's great. I think it ought to be discussed.
The county cannot enter into a contract longer than 1 year.
Sounds good to me.
Be renewed by the court.
I love coming over here just every chance I get, so sounds good to me. All
That's why we bring it up.
See, look at all the good publicity you get out of this.
right? So Commissioner Hollowell, have you heard Anything about Callisburg, good, bad? indifferent?
Everything I've heard is positive. And I've visited with Green some. I think he's enjoying it also, and I think that they appreciate him being there. So I think it's all good.
Since you've approved here, I would share with you that Mr. Kenny Cantrell was a Gainesville SRO officer and has been for several years. He will be the new era SRO. So, Michael Green was our Callisburg, and they've been pleased with him, and he wants to go back to Callisburg, so we're going to keep him there. So.
Very good. Thank you, Sheriff.
Thank you very much.
Any other discussion? Anyone else want to speak on this subject?
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
Have a motion to approve the renewal of the interlocal agreement with Callisburg ISD for school resource officer by Commissioner Snuggs, a second by Commissioner Arndt. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 19, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding fire pump controller and fire alarm control panel at the Justice Center. Is Rick here?
Ricky is on vacation, so
All right.
I spoke to him because I saw this was on the agenda, and both Rick and I would recommend that we table this and at least look for a couple more quotes. And Larry, my jail administrator, was telling me that there are a couple of companies that are at least in the area, maybe one in Grayson County and maybe one in Denton County, but that you might be able to secure some quotes from. So I believe it's pretty pricey, right? It's over $100,000.
It was.
We can always get on listserv and ask other person agents, and we also go up.
Yeah.
I think part of his concern is you want to keep it somewhat local, because this is, you get somebody from New York City bidding on this thing. I know we went through that with putting those Aon units in there. That bunch was out of Houston, I think. And boom, they left.
That's what Rick said. You know, they installed it and then they were gone. And so I think there was some concern about looking and trying to keep it in the area.
In the area. Do we have to go
But if
out?
it's over 50, you have to bid it unless it goes out and it's an emergency.
But right this minute, everything's operational and
It's
everything is
operational
safe.
as we speak, and
No safety
So-
issue as we speak.
no.
What does it do? Kick out or something? The panel's going
It shows
haywire?
faults on the main board that we can't clear.
Oh.
The equipment is obsolete.
Yeah. But you gotta remember, everything out there is 16 years old.
Yeah.
So it served, seems like a pretty good life.
Yeah, computers don't last 16 years. I doubt if that'll last 16 years either.
The other item is a little less, right? It was,
I don't know, I wasn't.
Yeah, the controller was 23,
uh,
and that's for the sprinkler system. The 107,000 was for the fire alarm system.
Okay.
the problem with these systems, you fund it, I run it, but neither one of us are in charge of it. It's the jail commission. And so these things that we're playing with are, they could come in and when they go down and shut us down, and then we're trying to find beds for 185, 190 prisoners. So it would be, like Rick said, in our best interest to do it on our time and not during an emergency. So, but I would say let's put it off, and Shelley will see what else is out there, so we know we have at least the best price possible when we come back from the court.
Can we make a commitment to do it instead of, things like this worry me whenever that could go out on you anytime and then you'd be under the gun. And then 2, 3, 4 weeks goes by, can we at least make a,
There's no money, there's no budget, and there's no vendor, so I don't.
I understand. We could have,
So I don't know.
We could have an emergency
we
meeting.
could, we could have a motion today to go out for bids to approve doing it.
But if you find somebody on listserv, I mean, not on listserv, but on state contract, we wouldn't even have to go out for bids.
Right.
And we could do an emergency meeting, Leon, if we had to. In other words, y'all are gonna go out and try to find a vendor now, or a better price, and you're gonna come back to the court in 2 weeks. If it craters between now and then, we do an emergency meeting,
Sure.
that work?
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, I didn't put this on the agenda, and I was just looking at where my 2 agenda items were, and I noticed this was right after.
Yep.
And so I was a little shocked it was on the agenda, and I called Rick, or he was out of town on vacation, and he wasn't even gonna be here, so that's why I just thought, hey, we need to.
Rick brought this to my attention, and I asked Rick to go back and get some additional bids to research, in fact, the company that originally installed these that has now gone out of business but has been acquired by another business as to what the availability of parts are. Actually, it appears that if we could get the right parts, it could be fixed temporarily. As old as the system is, something else could go on. But I gave Rick approval to put it on the agenda so everyone was aware of the condition that we have. I don't think, and Rick didn't either, and the gentleman that inspected it didn't think that there was an immediate need. It has probably been in this condition for quite some time, and everything is currently functioning. When he comes back for his annual inspection next year, should it still be in this condition, then he may or may not pass the jail. So we do have to take care of it. I was hoping that we would have the opportunity to do the due diligence to see if there's a new system that we could put in, or could we modify this one, and what was in our best interest from a cost standpoint. But in the end, I agree with Commissioner Clement that, we need to probably act on it relatively soon, or at least have a contingency plan. I asked Rick to also talk to these people about, is there a backup that we could have, some other system, should this one go down, that could temporarily work. So there just really hasn't been much research other than an inspector came in and said, hey, these 2 pieces of equipment don't appear to be as robust as they need to be. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, if you're getting codes and you can't clear them, you've got a problem. Yeah.
And it's a pretty comprehensive system.
Yeah.
One that's, 100-some thousand, it's all throughout the whole building, and air ducts and all kind of sensors, and that's why it's so pricey.
Okay.
So I
Anything
just need some direction. Does Rick secure the stuff? Does Shelley's office just need to
They're
know?
working together to try to find additional suppliers and try to get quotes. Now, as I understand it, you don't currently have a fault that you can't clear. We have faults that Rick and maintenance can't clear, and they have to bring in a technician to come in and manually clear it. Is that correct?
That's correct, most of the time. Those faults may show up, and that fault may be there for days before we get the right person that can clear it.
Correct.
If you get jail inspectors in here, but if you get a jail inspector that comes and shows up during that particular time and you have a fault that won't clear, then there we go, we're out of compliance, so.
Do you have a recommendation, Sheriff, that we do something different than continue on with getting more data?
No, that would be my recommendation. I just want to, I think it would, just know who's getting it, but I don't want to be responsible for something. You know what I'm saying?
that falls
I
on
will
Rick.
be if I know, hey, go do it, but if Shelley's office is going to look, or if Rick, or both of them, but if it's just, well, somebody's going to look, and then it falls through the cracks, and we're in the same spot
Okay.
here next
No.
time, so,
Ultimately, it's me. I'm responsible.
outstanding. Absolutely, yeah. I don't think we ought to jump up and take the first quote that came along, because there may be a little bit better deal, so.
Okay, if something should change, don't hesitate to holler at us and we can call an emergency meeting.
Absolutely.
Anything else? Then we'll take no action on this item. Item 20, deliberate and consider possible approval of RFP specifications for broadband expansion. Has everybody had a chance to look at that? That's coming from our committee that we assigned to do some research. And this is their recommendation to send out an RFP to get more details of what the options are. Give everybody a second to look that over.
Actually shorter than it was the first time, is it not? Hadn't it been condensed?
I think Shelley condensed it for them at no extra charge.
It's the same, isn't it?
I didn't do anything to it other than add our terms and conditions.
Oh, she added to it.
The proposal request, assuming a county match, what does assume mean? You're taking for granted we're going to give them either $500,000, $1 million, or $2 million? Or,
I don't think there's any assumptions. I think that they're just looking for proposals.
okay.
I think that July 29th is enough time for them to come up with a proposal. 15 days.
I'd be squeezing it. Don't you think?
I would think it would be.
I can't answer that. They've been dealing with these providers for a couple of months now, so I don't know whether there's already been some groundwork laid or not. They are aware that this is coming.
So what do we?
We just need a motion to approve for the team to put this RFP out for quote. Is that correct, Shelley?
So you're going to put it out, what does that mean? You're going to put it out for quotes?
I think that
We're gonna put it out for a proposal, not quote.
Now,
yeah, I'm
proposal.
sorry, proposal.
So
I'm still
you're going to
learning.
advertise?
Yes.
So if you got a new company that sees this and they want to do that, can they do it in 2 weeks? That's the question. I know there's 2 or 3 that have been looking at this.
I don't have a list to send it to, so it's gonna go in the newspaper and unless somebody can provide me a list. I assume Nortax and NextLink, who were
Yeah.
the ones that came to court last time, but
Are you limiting it to 2 companies by giving them 2 weeks?
no. That is our standard posting period, so if y'all want to extend it, then that's,
I think that's kind of what Mr. Arndt was getting to is if it's a new company that comes in and wants to bid on it, you've kind of put the squeeze on it. Is that what you meant?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be cut. I would think. it'd be
because I don't know
cut.
what it's asking for.
Oh, gosh. You know, if we gave you $500,000, what can you do to serve the underserved? Or what can you do to serve the people that don't have it at all?
But I would think that if they don't currently have service here, they would have to come in and totally lay lines and,
I'm sure. Of course, I don't know.
what would be the,
Why would they want to get involved?
no. If they don't currently service the area here, what would be the chances that they would propose in the first place?
Somebody looking to expand their area? I don't know. Just a question.
Yeah. No, you certainly, 2 weeks is our normal standard, unless. We can go out a
I
month.
don't know. What do you want to do?
I mean, if I was a company, I would want, because they're gonna have to come up and do a survey, I would think, try to figure out what it is, what.
I mean, the only other one that's here that I know of within the county is Suddenlink. From just reading the,
Yeah, I don't know if that's the only other one or not. I guess it is.
I mean.
I can't verify that.
Like AT&T would have to lay fiber cables and I don't even know what the other, their satellite, internet providers, HughesNet, I can't think of, My brain's not working. What else are, what else?
Starlink?
Is that satellite also?
Yes.
Starlink?
Do what?
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, Starlink.
Oh, that deal, yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know if even Starlink would work, because there's no, well, I mean, because that's, they use satellite, so it'd be where they could place antennas, I guess.
I mean, if that's what we normally do is 2 weeks out. I just don't-
That's the minimum we're required to do.
You can go longer than that, it's just what we always do is 2 weeks.
Since we weren't given any direction, that's what we picked.
I make a motion to approve.
I have a motion to approve the RFP specifications for broadband expansion from Commissioner Arndt.
Second?
A second from Commissioner Hollowell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Ayes have it, 5-0.
And if we send this out and we get feedback that says we can't do this in 2 weeks, we can issue an addendum to extend the date.
That was the next question I was gonna have for you, because the only reason for bringing all that up, somebody gets a hold of you and says, we can't do this in 2 weeks.
We can issue an addendum to extend the due date.
Because you've pretty much limited yourself to a couple of companies just by limiting it to 2 weeks.
Well, I mean,
Anyway, that's all.
but that was.
But you can
not-
extend it.
That was not the reason. That's the per statute, 2 weeks is the minimum.
Thank you, Shelley. Item 21, deliberate and consider possible approval of equipment lease purchase agreement with Welch State Bank for the purchase of a Bobcat BC 10-20 chip spreader to be located at Rodent Bridge Precinct 3 for a term of 2 years. Will you get that piece of equipment early enough to do something this year with it?
I already got it.
Oh.
Got it on lease right now, that's what we did last month. It's done.
Rental,
I'm sorry,
rental, right?
rental. This is gonna be the buyer. I've been looking for a used one, and everyone I've looked at is 6,000 to 7,000 hours on it. They're 160,000 to 70,000, that many hours. We don't have one in our precinct, and I know it's a lot of money, but I think this will be an asset for the county for the next 20-plus years. And I have budgeted in my budget for it. And the lease money goes towards the purchase price also.
$286,493.
Too many openings, start in October.
I like it. Anybody in the gallery not want paved roads?
It's expensive right now, but we're trying. Oil's costs went up, rock costs went up. He said a new machine next year, if they build them, will be about 380,000.
That's
It has 64 hours on the thing.
Makes ours look cheap.
You've got up $90,000. I guess something like that.
I'll make a motion, we approve it.
You ain't gonna let him make his own motion for
He's
his
not
piece of
doing it.
equipment?
He's not doing it.
You can.
Yeah.
I'll make the motion to approve.
I was wondering why you didn't want to buy it.
Yeah. Adam and I are still learning. We're young at this. I have a motion to approve the lease purchase agreement with Welch State Bank for the purchase of a Bearcat BC 10-20 chip spreader by Commissioner Arndt, a second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0. Item 22, deliberate and consider possible actions concerning FY 2023 budget. Does anybody have anything that they want to discuss about the budget? I have to turn my budget in, I believe, July the 30th.
When are you thinking more workshop type discussions?
We certainly can have another one. I think everyone has seen the information from our previous workshop. I thought I had handouts, I don't. Do we want to have another workshop before we turn in the judge's budget?
When is yours due?
July the 30th?
We call it yours, but it's ours.
It's ours, yeah.
Post.
The first filing to the county clerk, yeah.
I think we,
Set another budget meeting, go back over it, okay?
Wouldn't hurt.
We can do it. Sounds good.
When's the last day we can make changes? Shelley?
The starts, in other words, this one he's going to turn, that's what you're talking about, right, Leon?
What?
Just the one that the
one that
judges.
starts is actually going to turn in the preliminary.
Yeah.
I don't know what, I don't have the calendar in front of me, I don't know
Okay.
when.
I
You,
want
you can still make
when you're
changes in the
voting
preliminary
up through
after
August.
Yeah,
you approve it. But it would be wise to have one quick meeting to go through it all.
we'll set up a budget meeting. Okay, then we'll take no action on item 22. Item 23, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding Main Street parking lot. They have completed the packet to do the bidding. We just don't have the official packet itself. We should get it this week. He was on vacation last week. Leon, you want to add to that? I think you were on a copy of the emails.
Looks good to me.
All right, then we'll
The
take
city,
no.
the city, they're gonna work with us on the lights, right?
Correct. We'll take no action on item 23.
When do
Yes,
you
sir.
think, so we should have something for the next meeting?
Yes, sir. He has promised me something this week, the finished package. Nope.
I need to
Go ahead.
Look that over, please, so I can add our terms and conditions and.
Okay. Did I not copy you on the, okay, I'll send it to you. It's a preliminary, but he says that nothing's changing. They just have to do some crossing of some Ts and dotting of Is. Okay, no action on 23. Item 24, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the Crest Building. Does anybody have any input on the Crest Building today?
No.
Okay, no action on 24.
Snuggs does.
I don't.
Item 25, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding county radio communication system. Anything new there, Gary?
No, I think most of them took off last week. Don't have anything to add there.
All right. We'll take no action on item 25. Item 26, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding the annex. Lots of stuff going on over there.
They're making lots of progress. We need to be, as a group or as individuals, whatever, talking about furniture. Will that come out of road and bridge money, Shelley? Will that come out of if we've got any money left over from the contract, any thoughts?
I have some in general fund.
So,
Like the furniture that y'all have down in the basement, the general fund bought.
right, I'm kind of thinking we leave that furniture where it is. And I personally planning on buying a little better quality furniture for over there. So if we, I've got it in my budget. I don't know if you guys want to put money in your budgets for
what?
your offices, office furniture, if you want to change out office furniture, anything of that nature.
What kind of furniture are you buying though, you said?
I'm going to buy something different than what we have downstairs.
No.
Should we try to keep them all consistent, all the offices, just food for thought?
That's what we always normally do.
I think, you know, there's a better quality out there for not a whole lot more money. So,
What's a whole lot, no more money? I don't know, when we went through this, when we moved back into this building, everybody wanted a different kind of furniture. We put our foot down and said, we're all gonna get from the same. And we picked out one kind, basically. Is that right, Shelley? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, Office Depot, we picked
Yeah.
all the same.
And surely don't,
well, we was buying 100 and some odd desk at that point in time. Here, we're probably going to buy a total of 6. So,
so we're not gonna move anything out of here over there?
and I think as far as the commissioners, they got discretion to do whatever they want. They got the money to do it.
I guess if you wanna buy a fancy desk, you can, but that's, but I can't move the one from here over there?
If you want to, certainly up to you.
I don't know, Mr. Sicking may not like that. He may want something ornate.
So anyway, that's for each of you, I guess, to, I don't know what you want to put in the conference room.
Well,
We've
We
been-
definitely need a conference.
I've been looking at the stuff out of National Furniture Supply or National Supply Furniture or whatever, and it's,
can I make the recommendation that one commissioner take a look at this and put together a proposal, and then if everybody else don't like it, then we can do something different? Anybody want to volunteer for trying to put together a plan?
You're talking about, you said conference room, you're talking about the jury room conference room.
Yeah.
no, talk about the conference room, you know. It needs to be a jury room once every 3 or 4 years, we can do that.
Do what?
I said, if it needs to be a jury room once every 3 or 4 years, we can do that. But yeah, that's what I'm talking about, conference table. Makes no difference what the room's used for, conference table.
Yeah. Just make sure it's equipped for a jury.
6 people. It should do 10.
So did I hear Gary volunteer for this?
I'll put the numbers together and show you guys.
Okay.
If you'd like. Those of you that want to keep your own desk, well, keep your own desk. I think Jason's got a hardwood desk that's pretty
I
nice.
was gonna say, I actually have a nice desk
Yeah,
over
but,
there in the
You
credential.
know, what we've got set down there is made out of particle board, so I don't think it'd be any huge executive expense out there, but, you know,
So you're too good for particle board, is that what you're telling me?
whatever you say, Leon, I wouldn't challenge you one bit.
That was you threw too soft of a softball.
I think if you're gonna set an executive office, you probably ought to look like an executive, or when it comes in, you know, it ought to be an area that looks like a professional place.
Well, I think we look pretty professional.
Well, my concern is the
Everybody got their
off-gassing,
standards.
the particle board. Okay, so we'll take no action on the annex. Item number 27, deliberate and consider possible action regarding proposed weight station and resolution in support. We don't have all the quotes yet. Their CMIC guy has been out, but we do have the quote for the scales. They're roughly $35,000. The pit they believe, just giving a rough estimation, would be around 70,000.
How much?
70. And just 70. The office would be dependent upon how elaborate we want to make it. I attached to your thing there, the other 3 counties that have recently put in wait stations. They all use a little portable trailer for theirs, which was not very expensive, but that would be kind of up to us. Pavement, if we did 30,000 square foot of pavement, I don't think that would be necessary. That would be $200,000. They tell me it's $6 a square foot. So the $500,000 that we earmarked in the budget should get close to covering it. The state does need a commitment from us in order for them to invest the $2 million worth of infrastructure necessary to accommodate the access road up to the wait station. So you'll see in your packet an attached Commissioners Court resolution in support of, I'll just read it. Whereas the Commissioner Court of Cooke County finds that it is in the best interest of the citizens of Cooke County and the traveling public passing through the county daily to participate in the proposed construction and operation of a Texas Department of Public Safety, Texas Highway Patrol inspection station, and whereas the Texas DPS has identified a suitable location within Cooke County for such inspection station on Interstate 35 southbound, therefore be it resolved, the Commissioners Court of Cooke County, Texas approves and supports the participation with the Texas Department of Public Safety and Texas Highway Patrol in the construction and operation of an inspection station at the location described.
So you think the total concrete pad will be several hundred thousand, 200,000-300,000
Yes.
for the whole area?
Yes.
With a pit in it? Not a pit for the scales, but it has to have a pit for the truck.
That's my guess, but we don't have quotes yet. We're still waiting on quotes to come in.
And we have to put a cover over some of that?
Yes.
Well over the pit area?
Yes, and once again, you can look at the ones that are on the internet for those 2 counties. It's simply one of them with as small as 100 by 100, 18 foot high, and then there was one that went 200 foot by 200 foot. So it varied in the size depending on what the county wanted to expand. But with the price of metal today, I suspect that if we did 150 by 250, you're probably looking at $250,000 to do that cover.
So did you send us a copy of that?
Of,
What you were just talking about, covers and stuff?
oh, no, I didn't.
Okay.
They're available on the internet, though, if
I got you.
you can look up wait station
Yeah.
for Medina.
I misunderstood you.
Yeah.
If we had a $500,000 investment and we have a potential to bring in $1 million a year, I don't see what the challenge is.
I don't think you can do it for $500,000. And if you're going to pull in enough trucks, bring in $1 million, I keep hearing that $1 million. When I read the email response back from the Guadalupe County auditor, they couldn't really separate it out. It all went into one pool. So it might make that much money, I don't know.
There's 2 other judges on the handout I just gave you. You're welcome to call and discuss it with them as well.
I always get nervous when people talk about new revenue streams.
We can do nothing and keep putting it
Well,
off on the taxpayer. If we can
Well, you're
bring
putting
in
it,
$500,000, $1 million a year extra, you can probably find some place to spend it, like law enforcement and volunteer firemen and stuff of that nature.
Yeah. Everyone I've spoken to, and I've spoken to 5 different counties, they're all bringing in over $1 million, but it's not the money as much as it is the safety. After speaking with some of these people, it's amazing the amount of trucks that are out on the road that don't have the proper braking system. Their tires aren't adequate. There's just a whole lot of safety issues that this would be able to help with. It's
I
not
don't-
just weight.
I don't know, if you go through Oklahoma and you see them pulling all those trucks over, they're not doing that much work to those trucks. I don't know if it's as bad as everybody says it is. And I still do, you know, we talk about taxes and the taxpayers, and who's gonna pay for what. But I always get nervous when governments start talking about creating new revenue streams because somebody is paying the bill. And if you want to do it strictly on safety, stay on the safety. Don't sit back and say, we're going to pull in $1 million and we can spend it on new things, because that just aggravates the heck out of me.
What's wrong with doing both and being transparent?
Well, that's fine, but.
One of us mentioned safety, one of us mentioned revenues. I mean, we need the public to understand both sides of it.
I know, and I'm of the opinion, I always have been since we started this discussion, that I think a good portion of them are gonna go around it, and I know the answer is gonna be, oh, they've promised us extra DPS officers, and I don't see any extra ones anywhere. And I've talked to a lot of truckers that, but we will do what we will do.
Got a motion, Judge, or you need one?
Yeah, I'll need a motion on the
Motion.
resolution. Have a motion from Commissioner Hollowell to accept the resolution as described earlier, and a second from Commissioner Arndt. I'll reread it. Whereas the Commissioners Court of Cooke County finds that it is in the best interest of the citizens of Cooke County and the traveling public passing through the county daily to participate in the proposed construction and operation of the Texas Department of Public Safety Texas Highway Patrol Inspection Station, and whereas the Texas DPS has identified a suitable location within Cooke County for such inspection station on I-35 southbound, therefore be it resolved that the Commissioner Court of Cooke County, Texas approves and supports the participation with Texas Department of Public Safety and Texas Highway Patrol in the construction and operation of an inspection station at the location described. I have a motion by Commissioner Hollowell, a second by Commissioner Arndt.
Some discussion there, Judge.
Any discussion?
To be clear, this doesn't mean it's happening. It just means the court's willing to support it. And TxDOT needs to know before they invest, is the way I understand it.
That is correct.
So we don't expect it out there in the next week or so. But
No. Yes, sure.
Do they say a percentage of what's gonna get on each truck, or, how do you?
Yes. The current, as I understand it, Adam, you jump in here, you were in the same meeting, is it's 80% county, 20% state. They provide 2 full-time officers to man the station, and they provide,
When they hire 5 individuals, or they put through school from the county. So there'll be 5 full-time employees.
yeah.
County employees?
No, they'll be state employees, but hired out of the county.
And they're gonna be there all day, all 5 of them?
Well, they will rotate them through as they need them.
You're gonna need a fairly decent office building.
Is this gonna, like up here in Oklahoma, they have the lights? There's pass, get a free pass.
Yeah, they'll have all that on the highway, they're saying. So if everything's up to your E-Pass and all that's up to code spec, they don't have to pull you in, they'll just keep traffic flowing. That's their goal, is to keep traffic flowing, the weight in motion, and it's on and off. That was a prime spot for them to put it. And they're just asking for our help to help with it. I think they're putting it in regardless if we're gonna help them or not. So it's just a deal for us to be involved with as far as the county. That's what I'm understanding.
Well, I believe that there's actually a state legislative change a couple of years ago that does not allow the state of Texas to actually own one. It will be owned by the county, as I understand it. They will assist us in operating it, and the way the legislation reads is then the split of the money will be 80-20.
Yeah, we
But they're
have to
gonna-
do it.
Yeah, they're going to have a lot more investment in it than we are. They, as I understand it, they have a grant for $1 million worth of equipment that will also be associated with the operation of it. I'm assuming it'll be these lights that we're talking about. Heat sensors. They have a gun that can walk up and do a sensor on a brake and tell if the brake's operational or not. scientific.
The water bill gonna be included in that?
Yeah, we're going to have to work through that. I don't have an answer for that, man. But
We,
yes.
we talk about all these things we're gonna get, but we're really not sure about it yet. That's what bugs the heck out of me.
Well, we,
What there?
say again.
Flooded. So it's kind of odd, they had a water well there, good one, they flooded. Anyway.
Yeah, yeah. It very well may have to be reopened again. There may have to be septic system put in. So, yeah, but yeah, we do fully understand what the state's going to do. The state's going to provide the entry and exit, $2 million worth of cement. They're going to provide the staffing to operate it, and they're going to provide the infrastructure inside the office building, all of the equipment less the scale. Is that how you understood it? And the building? Yeah. Our responsibility is
And the
any
cover.
parking that is necessary, a office building. All three of the other counties have little trailers that are portable. I'd like to do something better than that. They have 3 different grades of scales. The scale that we had quoted is the best one. I don't know the specifics, but it's the one that gets the trucks on and off the quickest. We provide the pit, and then the awning for the inspection process. Everything else is DPS provided.
I don't know this kind of, I have a question.
Sure.
If they pull somebody over and they get arrested, does it put a lot of people in your jails?
I guess it could.
We have to process the paperwork, don't we?
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
They go to your jails, not.
No.
The
Yeah.
tickets.
Yeah.
If there's gonna be enough tickets to.
JPI.
JP,
Yes.
how
Yeah,
many
goes through
tickets
JP.
do you
Well, I was
have to
thinking more like drug.
process to get $1 million?
I think fines run between 1,000 and 5,000. I don't know. It depends on what the violations are. Matt, do you have any idea? Yeah, I thought they averaged somewhere around 5,000. Any other discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
Aye.
We have 4 and 1 opposed, Commissioner Clement. Item number 28, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding various grant funds. Shelley?
I shouldn't say anything.
In the past couple of weeks, I've received about 4 or 5 requests for additional information on both Precinct 3 and Precinct 4. I've gotten those submitted and working on getting the last roads for Precinct 3 turned in. The FEMA 2020 COVID-19, I thought was due July 1st. Ray and I put in a phone conference call to our rep, and what was due July 1st was the request for assistance, which we've had in place since 2020, and that the expenses are due December 31st. So that took about 1,000 pounds of pressure off of my shoulders. CTIF, I'm still working on. Elections can be taken off. I'm finished with it.
Okay.
And the American Rescue, we're continuing to work on.
Anybody have any questions on grants? Any comments? Okay, we'll take no action on item 28. Item 29, deliberate and consider possible action regarding countywide burn ban.
Good morning. I've provided the current drought monitor that comes out every Thursday, so it's about 5 days old already, 4 days old. It has us in either moderate drought or abnormally dry. I would expect this Thursday that will change, and we'll probably be in all moderate drought. But as you can see, we're probably doing a little better than most of Texas, but that doesn't mean we're doing good. We're just not doing as bad as everybody else. Our current KBDI as of this morning was 600 overall, with a high of 629 and a lower areas of 544, which is pretty significantly dry. As we've seen out there, unless it's a sprinkled grassy area, it crunches under your feet. So everything's getting very cured from both the heat and the lack of moisture.
Can I interrupt you for just a second?
Yes, sir.
If I'm understanding the map you provided us here?
Yes, sir.
Between 600 and 700 is next to the worst condition. I guess that falls under extreme drought? Is that the right?
They're not directly related.
Okay.
The colors don't correlate one to the other. It's two completely
Okay, but it
different
is-
organizations.
It is the item right above the worst possible.
That's true.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Yes, sir. I'm, trying to find more information, of course, but right now, the conditions are very similar to 2011, which was a very significant fire year. And I think the level we're at was probably more of an August of 2011, not a July 2011. So we're getting there much quicker than our normal dry in July and August, but we're getting there a lot quicker. We've had a lot less rain overall throughout the year. Fires are starting to happen more frequently, and now we're dealing with it in 100-degree heat. The next 10 days don't show any change, 100-plus degrees all through the next 10 days with no chance of rain. I would at this time recommend putting on a burn ban in accordance with Local Government Code Chapter 352 for up to 90 days and until conditions dictate otherwise.
I make a motion to approve the burn ban.
I second that motion.
Before we approve the burn ban, do I have the authority to rescind it should we get 3 inches of rain?
No, sir, not that I know of.
So can we revise that motion, Commissioner Clement, to include my ability to remove it? We can't do that?
No, I
have
think
to call emergency
we can call an emergency court
Okay.
and we can do
Right.
it.
I think if it's put on by the court, it has to come off by the court.
Yep.
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
3 inches of rain right now would pull us out of the burn ban because it would all just run off into the creeks anyways, don't you think?
I don't think it would run off at all.
It wouldn't run off, but 3
It'd be-
inches of rain and it went back to 104 degrees 4 days later, it would be just as
Might give us a
dry.
week or two, but
Yeah.
that's another
Okay.
challenge with a burn ban is putting it on, putting it off, taking it on, taking it off.
If the Commissioners Court does it, the Commissioners Court has to take it off because
Okay.
Allison was answering that question
Right.
just the other day on listserv.
Right, there's a difference in the.
Good to
how it's
know.
put on.
Thank you, Commissioner. Deliberate and consider possible actions regarding a countywide burn ban. I have a motion to approve by Commissioner Clement, a second by Commissioner Snuggs. Any further discussion? Any comments from anyone in the gallery? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes have it, 5-0.
If while y'all are signing that, so I can get it going as quickly as possible, I'll just
Okay.
go over the burn ban that you are putting into place.
Can we take a break?
Yes, sir.
Or does he still have stuff to do?
Do you have
The,
anything else?
I was just going to real quick mention the factors in the burn ban that, if you're going to weld or do any hot work, all surfaces around the welding, grinding, or cutting operations must be clear of debris or flammable combustible materials for 25 feet. The area will be wetted down, wind speeds of not more than 15 miles an hour. For that time, dedicated fire watch, a minimum of 100 gallons of water with the capability to be sprayed will be required at the welding site or work site. They'll have communications capability to make an emergency notification. One member of the crew will remain on scene for 30 minutes after the operations are completed. It also allows for outdoor cooking, but it has to be propane, natural gas, wood, or charcoal, and have a complete and full enclosure that is utilized at all times. The cooking device shall be clear of vegetation or combustible material or debris for a 10-foot radius. And then you'll also have to have adequate fire suppression equipment on scene, which is either a water hose connected to a constant supply like a house water service or a fire extinguisher. So it doesn't stop you, but it certainly requests that and requires that you take some precautions if you're going to do any of that.
Would you provide the media with that, an
Yes, sir.
excerpt of
That'll
what
be-
you just said, so you guys can pass that along? Okay,
It'll
perfect.
be emailed to everyone. It'll also be on the county website.
Okay, thank you very much. Item 30, executive session in compliance with Texas Open Meeting Act, Chapter 551. We will go into executive session now. It is 11:25. We will be discussing real property and personnel matter. First, we'll take a 5-minute recess. It is 12:35. We are coming out of executive session and resuming normal session.
Me too.
Item 31, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding real property.
I remember what that motion was.
I thought the judge was doing that.
Okay, I'll make a motion that we authorize the judge to work with a realtor to put the Crest Building on the market and see what it'll bring, starting price $1.5 million, and to start negotiations for an alternate site and discussions with the people at the Prosperity Bank to purchase it. Let me restate that so we got it right. I make the motion that we authorize the judge to work with Tierra Real Estate to put the Crest Building on the market for $1.5 million and to start negotiations and discussions with Prosperity Bank about the possibility of purchasing that building.
Do you want to put that 1.5 on there? I mean, we know that, but what if she says, oh, let's put it on at 1.7 and see if it brings 1.5, Judge?
Okay, I don't have a problem with that. So
That's
let me
the rest of the court
restate
thing.
the motion again. Okay, item number 31, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding real property. I make the motion that we authorize the judge to work with Tierra Realty to put the Crest Building on the market to see what it will bring, also authorizing the judge to start negotiations and discussions with Prosperity Bank about the possibility of purchasing that building.
I'm going to second that motion, but I wonder if we want to name, or how wouldn't we say an alternate site?
Okay?
That way
Well-
everybody in the world doesn't know what Prosperity's necessarily.
Okay. You probably need to stop this and start, this is live streaming. I'm afraid that we've already made that.
It's already out there.
Oh, okay, never mind. I'll second the motion.
I have a second from Commissioner Hollowell to allow the judge to work with Tierra Realty to put the Crest Building on the market, as well as to start discussions with the possibility of purchasing the Prosperity Building. And I have a second from Commissioner Hollowell. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed?
I'm abstaining.
Okay, we have 4 ayes and 1 abstain. Any further discussion? All right. Item 32, deliberate and consider possible actions regarding personnel matter. We'll take no action. Item 33. Yes, sir, go ahead.
I kind of feel the same way on that, but
On what?
on abstaining on that one just because of what we've done. But that's fine. I'll stick with it.
No, we can go back and you can go to abstain if you'd like.
I don't think we know enough about what we're even going to get close to spending over here. We've
And we
already
can
got
change-
somewhat of
And-
a,
and-
We can
and
change
I'm
the
willing to
motion.
look at everything, but I just don't know how it's all going to go. It just looks like if I'm saying yes, that I'm all for it, and that's
Well,
not the case.
it
I'd like to
seems-
abstain.
No, typically you abstain if you have a conflict, but,
you know.
I mean, it's.
Well, I have no problem with restating it or taking it
No,
off
no, no, no,
altogether,
no.
guys.
I'm all for it.
I mean-
I just don't want it to look like I'm on board with.
Well, it ain't none of us signed up for anything.
Exactly, but
we're-
the public doesn't view it that way.
Well, yeah, we're not signing up for anything. We're simply finding out what our options are, nothing
And I'm
more.
for finding out, I'm for exploring. So with that, we can just leave it the way it is. Now that I've made that statement, I'm
Okay.
for exploring, but
Yeah.
I'm not for making
Yeah.
any moves.
We don't have to take any offers made on the Crest Building, and we don't know even if this building over here would be something we'd entertain. It may have problems. It's just all a fact-finding process, nothing more.
Like I said, I feel better about it now that we put that out there.
Do you want to leave it like it is or go back?
Leave it the way it is.
Okay. Item 33, adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion from Commissioner Snudge to adjourn, a second by Commissioner Arndt. All in favor, please signify by saying aye. Aye. We are adjourned.